What up, y'all? It is Abstract Square Podcast, episode number 3. I'm hype.
What up, though?
It's me, Chad.
It's me, B.
Thomas. We said we get a nickname.
Yeah,
Not
we
sure I
said
like
we said we'd get a nickname for you.
Not sure I like it though.
Come on, man, say it.
You guys called me Supreme T. I'm not sure if that works for me.
Hype beast.
Yeah. It sounds
Yo, what's
kinda
wrong with
like-
Supreme T?
I just think of red stickers and people that overpay for things that are not really that cool.
Wow, that sounds exactly like you.
I'm adding all of y'all. It does actually kind of sound like me.
Hot take.
That does. How is everybody's? It's been what? Has it been a week? It's been longer than a week.
It's been a couple weeks.
It's been like 2 weeks.
That's a couple.
That is a couple.
Sure
Wow,
is.
we can tell who's been drinking in here.
Can you?
Yeah.
You're dry snitching already.
Man.
And it's what, 2? It's whatever. But anyways, yeah, it's been a while, guys. I know for me, it's been quite interesting. I had spring break. My daughter had a week off from school, which I don't quite understand, but whatever.
You had spring break yourself. How do you not understand?
Nah,
What do you mean? You relished it as a child. You thought that was the best time ever.
I don't recall.
Are you that old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, we went to the African American Museum.
How was that?
That was crazy.
That's so dope.
Yo, I highly recommend it if you've never been. Even if you've gone, you have to go again. That's not something you can experience in one take.
Gotta take multiple trips.
You gotta do multiple trips. There's absolutely no way you can read everything in this museum.
So you know what blew my mind last time I was there? So I went twice. First time I didn't realize it until I was there. Second time somebody explained it to me. When you go down to the bottom level, and spoiler alert, but when you go down to the bottom level, you are kind of taken back into the beginning of slavery, and they funnel you down this small hallway. And what they're trying to do is make you feel like Middle Passage-esque, so that you're close in those tight quarters and you're bunched up, because clearly they got space, but they're doing it for a reason. So there's levels that you won't kind of get on the first try, but when you go back in second and third, you'll start to understand all the layers of the museum. So it's dope.
Another spoiler alert. When you start on the first floor, it's much darker. It is so dark when you start during slavery, and then as you go up to the top floor where it's modern, it's so bright. The sun, there's windows, there's sunlight, like the lights are even brighter. And I think they wanted to make sure you got that feeling of being in a slave ship. It was crazy. But yeah, that was a highlight for me over the last couple of weeks, was having my 5-year-old experience that.
Definitely.
Major.
And she was able to even comprehend some of the things as a 5-year-old. I think one of the big things that stuck out for her were Martin Luther King.
Right.
She truly understood what that time period was. That was the most, I would say, that was the biggest revelation for her during the museum trip, was the MLK piece, which I thought was pretty dope for a 5-year-old. That's crazy. She's 5. She'll be 6 in June.
I was worried about Super Mario Brothers at 5 years old. So, yeah.
What about you, B?
Yo, my week was all right. It was a lot of ups and downs, taking care of family, health, utmost importance. My father had some health issues, and while it was scary, it was a good time to kind of see family come together, and, it's one of those things that made you cherish fam, You might hate them, you might not always agree, but in those times, it's good to understand that you got somebody that's got your back.
Definitely.
So, yeah, that week was all right, and that's really been it. Like, just sometimes you got to focus on that and that only. So that's where I've been for most of the week, and, we're getting out of it, but at the end of the day, utmost importance. I learned that.
Dope. Facts.
Yeah.
What about you, Supreme T?
Man, my week was supreme. I mean, since we've been on the pod, I started a new role, a new company, so that's kind of cool. Started shooting a documentary on my beautiful life. Yeah, sounds crazy, doesn't it?
His beautiful life.
My life has been pretty.
You've been all right.
Ghetto. But but it turned out okay. That's what matters. Yeah, but that's really been it. It's really good shooting documentary with myself, Kareem Myers, on kind of our ascension into kind of decent careers, and coming from as the guy said at his wedding, impoverished times. So that was my week, being Supreme.
Wow. So when does that drop, or you don't want to tell us?
Well, we don't have a definite date yet. We just started the kind of interview phase now, and kind of week by week we'll move forward on it. Hopefully 2019 we'll put something out there and everyone can listen to it and tell me that all the negative things about myself. So
oh, wow.
Yeah.
You want to just save the trouble? I could do it right now.
I mean, we do it all the time. It's nothing new.
Every day.
And for the listeners, excuse my voice. It is allergy season, and I am congested as all
I don't hear
hell.
anything
I don't
wrong
hear
with your
anything.
voice.
Nobody cares.
You can't? Nobody
No.
cares? Yo,
No,
I'm
nobody cares.
congested.
No, we can't hear anything. You're fine.
Oh, okay.
Good.
It's not that we don't care. We love you. We just don't
I
hear.
would tell y'all what I use to help with congestion,
No, we
but
don't
they
need
are not a sponsor.
Nah, we're good.
Thomas, make that happen. Or I'm sorry, Supreme Team. Supreme T, make that happen, please.
Didn't I just say I started a new role? Those are my old days.
Yo, a lot has been happening.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking, we could really touch on whatever we wanted today. Like, because it's been such a gap in what's been happening out in pop culture,
Cardi B,
politics.
Let's get into it.
Lauryn Hill, she's politics.
Yep.
Lauryn Hill's politics?
Yeah, she's politics.
So many albums have dropped. It's NBA playoffs. It is
a
like
lot.
lit right now. This is my the most exciting time of the year for me.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Or may I? Because I definitely can. When is LeBron going home? Can we have these predictions?
LeBron is actually going home this series.
B?
Round 2.
I like round 1. I'll ride with Chad on this one.
Did you look at him? Game 1, he looked exhausted.
I didn't feel exhaustion. What I felt was annoyed. I think he felt annoyed with the current situation, but I didn't see him exhausted at all.
I did.
My thought is, no matter what, LeBron's pride, not going to let him go out on round 1.
He's in for a rude awakening.
His pride. What? He doesn't ever care.
I feel like still, he doesn't care, but there's an ego about him that won't let him go out.
I think he's the person that does not have an ego whatsoever in all of sports history. He's not prideful. Wow. He's not like really competitive like that.
What do you mean he's not competitive
That's
like
the
that?
part that I think is...
He's not that competitive. He's just a monster. He's just that good.
He's extremely competitive.
You know what he said? He said, I've been through 3-1 in the championship. I don't really care about losing game 1. That's not a competitive person.
All right, watch when they lose and they're down 0-2, and then watch game 3.
Well, I hope. Well, you're predicting down 0-2.
Absolutely.
So that's fun to hear, and we'll see.
They're gonna go down 0-2.
Okay.
So who's gonna make it out the West?
Yo, Houston looks crazy.
I got OKC. Let's talk about it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's talk about Melo.
He's old and washed.
Being subpar. And
I love that
I'm
guy.
a Melo. I'm a Syracuse fan. I'm a Knick fan. So I will always gravitate towards always seeing Melo win.
I'm a fan of Melo in the club in Atlanta, busting up those bottles, which makes me a Melo fan.
Yeah, nah.
So it's quiet for Melo?
It's actually frustrating to see Melo right now. Like, as a Melo fan, I'm frustrated watching him play, watching him be not even second fiddle.
Well, let's hope that he has a D-Wade moment.
He did in the first quarter, first game.
He did the first quarter. Did he get his girl back? Did he get her back?
I don't
It's
know.
quiet for Lala.
You think so? Because I saw her buying all of his like high school jerseys and things like that on Instagram.
For his son.
For his son.
For his son. That's why? It's
Yeah.
quiet. It's quiet for him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night-night.
That's tough.
Yes.
All right, so
But-
what round does Lauryn Hill not show up to a concert?
First City.
person need no show up at
She
all.
gonna show up. She might be a little late.
A little late.
She doesn't do a little late.
Yeah.
I feel like she got it together. Look, y'all laugh, but I'm gonna stand up real quick for
Jersey?
Newark, New Jersey, for South Orange, for all of that.
Man,
And
say she got it together.
She got it together. Look.
What does she have together?
Baby need milk.
Uh,
Somebody got to eat.
okay. If you say
Yeah, all right. Marley got weed products he's selling on Instagram.
Wow.
Nah, that's not happening. I'm not going to any of those shows.
I might.
I'd like to go.
I
I'd
might.
like to go, but I don't want to be that frustrated person because it doesn't really look good on me. If she doesn't show up or show up on time, like how do you sell that, right? Like if you're Live Nation, how do you sell Lauryn Hill?
Because the people that's going to buy the tickets don't care if she show up 3 hours late.
You know how you sell Lauryn Hill? You put Beyonce.
That's so disrespectful. Yo. Stop it.
Baychella.
You
Disrespect.
put
yo.
Cardi B as the headliner. That's how you sell
I'm
Lauryn
calling
Hill.
it. Lauryn Hill's going to get it back together.
This is really the year of the woman.
It is.
Lauren's
is.
back. Baychella look crazy.
That was a good look.
I've never. So I went to Made when she performed at Made, and I was annoyed that I had to look at this woman be this good. I just really didn't want to see it. But seeing this, she's the truth.
No, she's the truth.
And here's the thing, like, she's the truth and her prime at 21 or 22 years in the game. Like, we got to go back to 96, 97,
Wow.
Wyclef Jean, Destiny's Child.
Right.
She's been doing this. And, I mean, arguably, like, you can say that she may or may not been at her prime, but
Talk about starting from the bottom. Features with Cameron and 50 Cent.
and she's out here.
Wow.
Question. Who's the best entertainer between Beyonce and Chris Brown?
Beyonce, get out of here.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Let's talk about Beyonce or Michael Jackson. Let's up the level.
Wow.
Right, you have to say
Whoa.
you have to talk about Michael.
Whoa.
You have to talk about Michael because they have equal production. Like
Yeah, I think you're really discrediting Chris Brown.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. Look.
I want to sing yo right now.
He can dance and sing, right? But when you talk about, and I'm adding the production part in, when you have the corporate backing to get you to that global level, that's why I'm putting it on a Michael Jackson level.
Right.
Chris Brown never got there.
I'm
Apples
not-
and oranges, fam.
No, it's not. That's an unfair assessment. We are talking about the ability to entertain, which means singing and dancing. We're not talking about the additional resources that come with a concert. That is an unfair assessment.
Chris Brown is not going to take the whitest event in music America and turn it into an HBCU probate. And not going to get that.
The Black National Anthem at Coachella.
You're not going to get that from it. You're not going to get that
We
from
don't
Chris
know.
Brown.
We don't know.
We do know.
Kanye
We
voice.
do know that Chris is not capable of being that polarizing.
What do you mean?
It's
This
too
guy's
much.
had pop hits.
No.
Yeah, 3 times. That wasn't a pop hit.
He can have that hit, but he can't like affect culture the way she affected culture last weekend.
No.
It's not a real thing.
I see where you're going with that. I
What
don't
she
know.
did was like when Michael put on his black or white video during the Living Color.
All right, so we are looking at it from a standpoint of saying that Beyonce went to Coachella. She did black things at Coachella.
Which sounds crazy.
Which sounds extremely crazy, but we still don't know how any other race feels about that concert. That has not been discussed.
Did you look in the crowd?
Yeah, that's a crowd, but I want to hear actual commentary from someone that is not black discuss what that show meant to them. I've yet to hear that.
Nothing.
Since, you know why? Because everywhere I go, my Instagram, my Twitter has all been Baychella by us.
Nothing, because here it wasn't for the 18 and 19-year-olds from Arizona. It was for us. They're never going to give you a response because they don't understand what just happened.
You can't cater to a predominantly Caucasian crowd and say it's for us.
Yes, you can.
No, you
when you
cannot.
order, my show must be live streamed. It was beyond the actual demo that was there in the
I know
desert.
But you still there's still a demographic that you have to cater to.
Why? Why when you're at Beyonce's level? Maybe when you're at Chris Brown's level, you got to play for that crowd.
Right, but when you're Michael, you're Michael.
I don't know.
you don't answer. You do the whole set. You do the whole album. and nobody tells you.
You fall
There
line.
is someone right now that says, "Why the hell were there tubas in the background?" They have no idea what that really means.
Well, that's how you acclimate them to what's really going on. I mean, we're the movers of culture, right? So, like, I'm going to do what I do, and you'll catch up later. That's how it happens anyway.
That's true. I agree with that.
Oh, so you're stumped?
No, I'm still saying that I believe
I felt stumped just now.
Chris Brown can do the exact same thing.
Nah, I think, well, let's say this. Let's say that Chris Brown could possibly do the same thing if he has a team around him that cares about things that are further than
Resources.
Yeah.
Agreed. There's no, I mean, he can sing his ass off, he can dance his ass off. We agree. There's no disagree on that.
Raw talent, easy.
Easy what? Let's be clear here.
He's easily a better dancer than Beyonce. That's not like a real conversation.
All right. We can agree there?
We can agree there.
All right.
Yeah,
But now,
we can
like,
agree.
B
can
was
agree.
hesitant. Like,
We can
he
agree.
shook his head, but he was like, nah, I ain't about to agree with that.
Because I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't
What do you
seen
mean? We saw a guy that was locked up, put on 25 pounds, come back, lose it, and do flips in the air. What more do you need? Like, Beyonce
Like
had
fully on drugs, too.
fully on drugs.
All right, yeah, you got
And
it.
watch, all the Beehive gonna be like, well, Beyonce had 3 kids, and she can't move now. I don't want to hear it.
Wow. She did just have twins. Whoa. That's even more impressive. She's like my favorite rapper. She's in my top 5.
No, but nah. All in all, that show was pretty dope. I like the female movement happening right now. Cardi out here, Black China's out here.
It's really quiet.
Did I say Black China?
You did.
I meant
Yo, get out of here, yo,
you-
please.
Oh, man, that's even. Funny thing is, I didn't even hear it like that. I'm like, whatever, man. Like China.
Yeah, who?
Black China's out here.
Nicki, you talking about Nicki Minaj?
Nicki Minaj is out here.
He just thought about the bodies and said,
Yeah, they all one and the same.
My question is, what's up with Fab?
He's back on Instagram.
He never left.
Nah, he left
For how long?
For maybe like
36
3
hours?
days. Literally 3 days.
I feel uncomfortable even talking about it, so I just leave it alone. But like,
I don't know.
Tight
Stay out of this,
situations.
but you got to pay for lawyers. You got to still get money,
yeah, definitely got to get paid.
no matter what's coming up. I'm not condoning anything, but you still got to get paid
Yeah, he did shows. So
the day of. And
I
after.
really don't know how to comment on that situation.
You know what? That's because we understand the rules, and I don't want to understand the rules in this situation at all. I just kind of want to say, like, I can't say it, but I really want to say it. I want to say that you're a really bad man,
Right.
but it feels uncomfortable saying that because you don't really know all the details.
Right.
And if that happened to me, then it'd be unfair.
So how would you feel if one of us got put in that situation?
We'd have real conversation about how you got in that place, regardless of whether you did it or not. Whether you did it or
Right.
not, you should have never gotten to that place.
Right.
And that'd be a friend-to-friend conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
But the public can't do that to a celebrity.
Right. Has anyone ever thought about like what his conversations are like with his friends now? Like for any celebrity who's been put in a very awkward situation, like do you lose that friendship, or is that friendship sort of like someone a little bit disconnected now because you feel like you disagree on that person's actions, right?
Right.
But and even so, like because you kind of look at each other as family now, right? So it's like that family member that got locked up, or that family member that hit your aunt or something, or cheated on your aunt. It's like how do you view that person moving forward? Is the conversations is it the same?
At some point, it becomes the same again. You do forgive. It's always family. But while things are going on, it's a very uncomfortable place.
Right. So are we judging that? Are we judging our family members, or are we doing what we should to make sure that that person has support? Because I think we skip out on that sometimes, like that the person that's in the wrong also needs support from their family, and sometimes they may feel like they're not getting it, whether they're right or they're wrong.
I think in order to deliver the support, on some level, you need to pass some sort of judgment. unfortunately. It's not a negative thing. It's just I have to have an understanding and come up with an analysis of what went on, and then offer my support. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're judging.
Always. I mean, it's human nature to judge, right? From family down to the person you see walking on the street,
right,
with the off-white shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You judge, right?
Oh my god, we
gosh.
talked about that a couple pods ago.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Brian, you had to bring it up.
Let's talk about that. We need to have that conversation. What's going on out here?
Well, there's two things, right? There's
salutes, by the way. I'm saluting
Virgil.
Saluting. I'm
to
not
amazing marketing and playing off of human nature in terms of spoon feeding something that may or may not be hot and building a hype off of that spoon feed. And then raking in the dollars based off of that. That's
and
human psyche, right?
The dollars, the influence. He is, another thing I don't want to say. He is moving youth culture. I'll say youth.
Now, in terms of innovation and what Nike stands for, in terms of pushing a label on footwear, Chad, I'm gonna let you speak on it.
Speak on it.
You heard a deep sigh, yo.
I cannot go down
and
this
that
road.
wasn't your congestion.
I'm not going down this road.
But we could talk about real hype. Let's talk about Kendrick.
No, can we really talk about Colin Kaepernick and this Adidas thing?
Oh, I didn't hear about that. What's that?
So apparently, Adidas said if they sign Colin Kaepernick to another contract with the football team, they'll sign him to Adidas. That pissed me off. You know why? Because there are people that are signed to Adidas, Nike, and all these other brands that are not athletes. So why is it that he must be an athlete in order to sign a deal?
Why does that surprise you when Robert Griffin III, who has a broken knee and is arguably probably one of the worst kind of quarterbacks in this world right now, has been picked up on a team before Colin Kaepernick? Why does that surprise you then?
So, and I thought, so it's so interesting as, you know, we go through this transition with Colin and athletes and the potential shoe deal. But on the other hand, you know, and we're going to get into this, but Starbucks, and we're immediately ready to revoke Starbucks' app from our phone.
Except you.
Except me. We can talk about that, right? Why are we not saying that about Adidas? It's like, yo, you're literally telling us that you will not bring someone on to the brand until they're an athlete.
I mean, from a number standpoint, it makes sense.
But do you get where I'm going with
I do
this?
get what you're going from it. I get what you're saying from a pure culture standpoint, from a pure just celebrity standpoint. But from a number standpoint, it makes sense. There's several people, and I know basketball, I don't know football, that have these endorsement deals with Nike, and they don't give them anything. But then there's a far and few in between that actually do get paid for having these Nike deals, and it's because they are that they have that many views on them.
But
he's not on the field.
Colin, as an activist, do you not think it makes sense for Adidas to say, guys, this might be an opportunity for us to really take advantage of the black buying power? Well, let's sign this guy and really get a movement behind him. I mean, it sounds shady as hell, but that if you're a corporate monster, why not use that marketing angle?
About that
because
the idea. I'm sorry, but the idea that that's how they got their second push was by utilizing the black dollar. Adidas, Run DMC. Why would you not utilize that same point of view? So I agree with you on that.
Because it has to be tied to something, right? At the end of the day, being an activist is not enough. You got music that's tied to it. Not saying that I'm agreeing with it, right? You're being corporate, right? And so the fact that Colin Kaepernick's name came up in the first place means that there's many different thoughts and values in this huge corporate entity. So the ivory towers clearly don't approve and need the NFL or football to be attached to this activism or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, they're never going to just let this dollar fly on activism alone, because that's going to mess with probably half or more than their consumer base. If somebody,
what do you mean? How do you think so? How can you say that will mess with their consumer base? We are the buying power. Behind us are the Hispanic race. They're the second buying power for Adidas.
Adidas is predominantly a soccer brand.
global brand.
It's a global brand, predominantly focused on soccer as their main sport. So if you're looking at it from a global standpoint, like B is saying, I'm not sure that our buying power is relevant.
I think it is.
I mean, it feels relevant, right? Like, but we're not talking about feeling. We're talking about from pure numbers place. It's highly unlikely that we're pushing a large percentage of their sales. Kanye didn't jump over Jumpman.
Okay, so a good example of that is H&M.
Great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we weren't going to shop there anymore, and look what's happening.
Starbucks is still about it.
Yeah, look what's happening in the U.S. Their other regions are still going to flourish. Europe is still going to flourish.
Right.
But they need our money.
In the U.S., but they don't need it anywhere else. So, yeah, shut it down. That's fine. Like any business, it's just a number. It's a bucket, right? If they're not going to put this energy into this bucket, they're going to move it over to the Europe bucket and put more, resources into that. That's why I don't feel like, I get our buying power, I get our influence, but they still don't see it as that.
I think you're underestimating our buying power.
Yeah, but let's just bet on another quarterback that's relevant, right? Let's just put Kaepernick next to another quarterback and say, hey, who does better for our brand? And they just choose XYZ quarterback. I'm not aware of these people because I don't care about football. I think football is a terrible sport in the first place. All of our people are getting concussions. I'm good on it. But you just make it apples to apples, quarterback versus quarterback, and they win with another quarterback. It's a corporate decision.
Oh, yeah, it's out with one, in with another.
Yeah, but I mean that's how that sport specifically is anyway.
Right.
That's why your average person is 2.5 years, 3 years that plays that sport, and that's why, ladies, if you're listening, don't date those guys. They're gonna run out of money in 2 years.
They don't have financial advisors.
They don't have financial advisors. No, they have the contracts are not guaranteed. So you date him while he's a giant now. He will be a midget later.
Right. We saw a lot of that in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy to make that statement. Just to remind everybody. He was good in his first year.
He bought you that bottle that day.
He bought you those bottles, and he had a little C-class. But guess what? It's 7 years later now.
And that C-class is still around.
In the compressor.
The compressor.
Dip it low.
You still got the compressor?
With a K.
But yeah, I want to lead into the Starbucks thing because when I first heard the news that they arrested 2 black men in Philadelphia, I was like, oh, they're bugging. I'm done. Initial thought. But I was like, wait a minute. That makes no sense. This happened in one location. This wasn't something that was corporate said, hey, guys, you see 2 black men. You get them out of here, right? That wasn't. It sounds like timeout. We have to stop this shit, right? As soon as we see something happen, we're like, oh nah, we're not gonna use it no more. But let's really look at it and let's look at the long term effects of this, right? I've been to 1 trillion Starbucks up and down the East Coast, and I've never experienced this. And I've been to the Reserve in Brookfield Place here in New York City. Got the best service I've ever had, great coffee, and I'm like, time out, nah, I'm not doing this. I got $23 left on my app. This is happening today, tomorrow.
That's how they got you, preloading.
But it also led me to think even deeper, right? Because I made a Twitter statement that said, is there any other coffee shop that will accept my $23? And I said that because there's not enough small businesses especially in this New York City area, the real estate is tough. Rent is tough, but we're not really supporting our own. You know, I was like, I even had to take a step back, and I said to myself, damn, I need to support my own. Where are we? How do I even gain access to us?
Priced out, kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, where are we promoting? Why are we not promoting? Why are we not promoting each other? If there's I only know of one black coffee shop in New York City, in Brooklyn. And that's because I used to work with a girl who owns a black coffee shop.
I think it's unique, and I don't know this is a fact. It's just an inference. New York City is unique in, you know, who the owners may be. If we think about Atlanta, being that we all lived there for a little while, it's much more highly likely to have a black coffee shop in Atlanta just by the cost to actually afford that lease, right? It's on Edgewood, there's probably a black coffee shop in a black town with, again, lower cost.
Even when I lived in Atlanta, I didn't know of one.
I'm not sure you actually wanted to visit one either when you were in Atlanta, right?
No,
like,
I did. I actually...
If there was one in Bankhead, right? Here where I'm going, it's highly unlikely that you would decide to leave your beautiful Buckhead, you know, residence to go into Buckhead to patronize this person's establishment. As I said it, I was like, damn, I probably will go to Bankhead too.
Because when I lived in Buckhead, I traveled to a coffee shop down by the campus, and that's where I did most of my work.
Shout out to Mr. Everything, just randomly. I just wanted to give Mr. Everything a shout out.
Yo, shout out to Steagles.
Queens get the money, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Everything.
But, yo, I'm not even thinking. The business part, like, it's not even a thought for me. The issue that I kind of see with this Starbucks thing is, boycott or not, why do we not address the calling on the cops? You know,
in Starbucks.
Like, that's the issue that bothers me, right? We're talking about black owned, we're talking about boycott, but the general thought that I'm going to call the cops on this person, knowing the state that we're in and knowing what cops could do to our bodies, you know?
Right.
And the fact that your first instinct in a neighborhood that you may or may not have just moved into, now this is not in the case of Philly, but in other places where it's quickly being gentrified, that you're so quick to call the cops on something that you see is off, essentially means that I want you to get out of here and I maybe want to do harm for you. I'm okay with that, you know, knowing that everything is going on in this time. So that's the issue that I feel.
I think it reinforces a lot of my fears as I travel wherever I go. I'm uncomfortable to this day going into anyone's establishment that's selling anything and not buying something because I'm afraid of exactly what happens to those young men. If I'm in Starbucks, I'm buying something. I'm not sitting at a table and not being a real patron because I think that these kind of things happen.
Yeah,
it reinforces that this thing
that boils down to a bias, right? Like, we live in a extremely biased country. I think naturally we all look at some people and we draw biased on them, and that's something I feel like we need to do better about. You know, I've caught myself doing it. You know, like, it's so interesting because for us, we always look and we say, oh, well, they're drawing bias on us, but we never realize how much we do it as well.
Right.
We do it to our own people.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we need to take a step back first and say, okay, let me accept this person for who they are before I draw a conclusion and say that they're going to do something wrong. They're going to do ill will to me or the person standing next to me.
But I think that's a stretch in Starbucks. Like, there's nothing about ill will happening in this coffee shop. Like, they weren't going to shoot the place up and demand you give
perception is everything.
All of the blonde
yeah,
roast.
but we've all been in a Starbucks where we've seen homeless people
all the time,
or we've seen some people that look like they have some mental challenges,
right?
You know, and so and I also thought about that. I'm like, wait, so I've never seen the cops come into a Starbucks and pull them out of here.
Never, and that's what made it really alarming to me. I've never seen that, but this happened. It was Starbucks is the last place in the world I would ever expect this kind of thing to happen. But at the same time, I just told you that I do expect this kind of thing to happen because I won't go in Starbucks without buying a random medium roast just because I want to make sure that nothing ill happens to me.
Yeah.
It goes both ways, I guess.
I mean, we've all taken meetings somewhere without buying something.
I never, let me not say never because I probably have, but just don't recall. But I have a hard time patronizing anyone's establishment
without
spending some money.
Right. There's some coffee shops that I've been in where they won't even let you sit down. Like, as soon as you walk through the door, it's like, buy coffee or what are you buying? Like, I've been in those types of coffee shops. Some coffee shops don't even give you the Wi-Fi password without even buying something. It's on the receipt.
Right.
Some Starbucks do that. They won't give you the code to the restroom.
There was another, actually, you saw the other video. This is not the Philly incident, but another dude was denied to go to the bathroom. He said he had to pay for something. You had to buy something. And previously, another white guy walked in and, asked for the code, walked straight to the bathroom, didn't do anything, didn't buy anything, nothing. And so he called it out, and you'll see the video where, he kind of charges up on the store manager, but it's the same concept.
Yo, you want to know what's so crazy? When I go into some of these stores and, like, I'll try to get, like, something less than $10, and I'll pull out my card, they'll go, oh, we got a $10 limit.
Which is illegal, I've been told. They can't even do that. Yeah, they have to take your tender, period.
And some of the cashiers, they're kind of like snippy about it, as if like I ain't got it.
I always want to compare bank accounts to people sometimes. Like I don't want to sound foul.
Nah, because sometimes like I'll be purchasing, it'll be like $9.25. I'm like, oh, we're not going to look. They'll point to the sign and go, you got $10. I'm like, yo, then just charge $10. Like, and I do that almost like, yo, don't try to play me,
right?
Yeah.
And it's almost kind of frustrating.
It should be because, and again, we had this conversation in the last pod. You're a lot more fiscally responsible than I am. You just gave them 75 cents for no reason.
I know.
It's so unfair. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, but I think it's their approach. Like, if they were smart, they'd be like, look, I really have a $10 limit, but don't worry about it. It's 75 cents. Let's charge it.
Yeah.
Like, that's great customer service. Not completely deading me and saying, we got a $10 limit. Like, what?
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'd probably rather leave. If you're worried about my short 75 cent, I'll go across the street.
You know what gets on my nerves? When they ask you for a credit card at a bar or a restaurant.
Oh, I can't stand that.
To hold while you're paying for something. So a couple of weeks ago, or just a couple of months ago, we were
an hour ago, by the way. But
yeah, probably. But like, you go to a restaurant, and no matter who you're with, you sit down, and service is service, right? You ask what you want, they order something, and they go put it into the kitchen, and then you go about your business. At no point should I feel like I have to secure my payment, with a credit card when I see other patrons around me not getting asked the same question.
Right.
And then when I ask you what's going on, you say, oh, well, sometimes people run out on the bill, so we ask everyone.
People?
Right. So those little things, those microaggressions and all those other, I think we're aware of those, and I think we need to start addressing them
I
more
address
often.
them, and it's fun. So I don't like those. I don't like that feeling, even though it literally happened to me an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super nice to those that are serving me because I don't want to deal with that kind of frustration. I think that I shouldn't have to be that nice at all.
And at the end of the day, it's the messenger, right? You don't want to kill the messenger. They're just doing their job, right?
Right.
To a certain extent.
Yeah, but
because if you saw them not asking the person to the left of you for a card and they asked you on the right, they're not the messenger.
Right.
They're the bias.
Right.
And that's where I'm biased on my tip.
Pause. Like, that's crazy. Put your tip out of this podcast.
We don't want to talk about that.
Tip D's. But
That's crazy. Bias on my tip. Wow.
That actually might be my words of the week.
What? You got words of the week? You got tips of the week?
Yeah, we definitely. Like we had adhoc. Yo, so
let's talk about adhoc.
wait, so really, listeners, we actually have a a fourth member, right? So we're 3 episodes in, and our fourth member has been ghost this entire time. I won't say his name, but you know who you are.
But he's gonna show up in like an ad hoc kind of way.
So we're in our text group, and he says, "What do you say? Yo, y'all go ahead without me. Put me on an ad hoc schedule." We like, what?
You know what the real response was, Pod? Don't talk to me like that. We don't speak in that kind of way. We don't talk in
So
like this corporate speak.
disrespectful. I said,
If you
for
don't
real?
put your ad hoc away.
So
We're
that's
gonna
his
get
name.
him on here. Yeah, we're gonna get him on here. He gonna speak his piece.
Where you at? We know where you at. You in Miami right now.
No.
He's not anymore?
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, he's still at the ice cream museum.
This is funny.
Can we talk about Kanye for a little bit?
Yo,
Can we talk about him tweeting?
What's
Can
up
we?
with that?
He's
Yes.
back. Something's coming.
Album's coming
Yo.
out.
Something's coming.
Album's
Something's
dropping.
coming. But yo, someone asked me a really great question about Kanye. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Which Kanye do you prefer? Kanye with Amber or Kanye with Chloe?
30 hours.
Yo, that I thought
Kanye
about.
with Chloe.
I mean, Kim, same
Kim,
difference.
It's all.
It's all the same. All the same.
I like Kanye with Alexis. It's not a.
That's not the
I
question.
don't care, but that's the Kanye I want.
Kanye and Kim or Kanye and Amber?
I like Through the Wire Kanye.
That's Kanye with Alexis. That's Alexis Kanye.
Kanye with Amber or Kanye with
Kanye
Kim.
with Hennessy is over everything.
Kanye with Amber. Period. Because
Yeah.
I think there's something going on, and we could talk about Chloe. We could talk about Tristan. We could talk about it.
That's
but
probably why I said
What's
Chloe.
the baby's name again? Like Toby or something like that?
Right. Yo, you're so, I hate you. I hate you, yo. Yes, I hate you. I hate you. But
I hate you. For
Kanye
that.
with Amber because, I mean, Amber's maybe more adjusted to the culture and respects it a little bit more. The Jenners
Hennessy.
and the Kardashians are directly contributing to the downfall of my people,
If
of us.
Amber would be with Kanye right now, he wouldn't have dropped those Power Phase sneakers. It would never, ever happen. He would never drop that with Amber. I'm like, yo, come on, you serious?
You're not wearing this in Philly?
Yeah, we're not wearing this in Philly. I
We're
wouldn't
not
even wear
doing
this in
that.
strip club.
So to answer your question, Chad, Amber Kanye
Yeah.
all day.
And this is consensus.
Yeah.
When Kim K, you're a clown. Sorry.
Yeah, even yeah. The music he put out with Amber was crazy compared to
The music you put out with Kim K is crazy.
it is, but wait, was he with Amber from My Dark
Yes.
Twisted Fantasy? Yeah. come
So
on.
Amber all the way.
Yeah. Come on, that album
Wait.
was
You
crazy.
picked My Twisted Fantasy over Pablo?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
If you're talking about bleach stained booty holes and on my T-shirt, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Sonically, amazing. I get it. He's
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah.
But you talk about sonically and lyrically and production wise, you putting everything together. My Beautiful Dark Fantasy, out of this world compared to Pablo.
I'm Out of This World is pushing it. But I'll agree with you guys on that one. It's if one is a 7, the other one's a 9.
Right. So like My Beautiful Dark Fantasy is a Kendrick, and My Life of Pablo is like a Future. Future feels good, right? You can
Right.
bang it in the car. You can rooftop it.
No.
You can't.
No. Pablo is Kirk Franklin.
Yo, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
It's 444 to me. I had this
Yeah,
conversation
okay.
before. It's like it's like a audio Bible for
For what? Audio Bible for what?
FML is like I can't fuck my life up.
Right.
That's a thing. That moment when you're like, she's she's whack. Whatever. I'll keep on moving. It has a lot of messages that are like they go directly with the life he's living right now.
I
regardless whether we want to be with Kim K or not.
Yeah, I think the visual for Pablo is not as good.
What you mean the visual? You talking about album covers?
No, just in
Damn, you're right about that.
like in terms of like the direction for the videos, the concerts, they have nothing. Like Pablo has nothing on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
That sounds ridiculous because his shows for Pablo were like his best shows ever.
Now, I give you that, right? Production-wise, you might have got on with certain people, but you talking about Salida E. Banks in Feathers. You're talking about full movies.
Yeah.
You're talking about Runaway. You're
not.
not comparing this. No.
He's an incredible artist, like, period, though, man. Like, forget, like, grading either one of these. Just give them both a lot of credit, though. They're both really, really dope.
I think Runaway for me, and there's a podcast that you got to listen to. I can't remember what it's called. Focus?
Never heard of it.
Or Dissect. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
so quiet.
Cool, we can cut that out. Anyway, either way.
Nah, it's quiet for you. It's Abstract Square Podcast. I
Whoever
don't
that
know
is,
what else is out
whoever
there.
that is. But at the end of
We
the day,
lit.
I do talk tough.
you kind of get an understanding of like where he was after the whole Taylor Swift thing. And his bounce back for My Beautiful and Runaway,
fire.
like that was like, yo, fuck y'all. This is what I'm gonna do.
I'm about to go listen to that on the way home. That is
Trust
fire.
me. And Pablo, cool, but I'm very curious to see what, and it's more than cool, but I'm curious to see what this next stage of Kanye is.
I think it's
I
gonna
like Pablo so much that I don't want to hear anything else.
You're bugging.
And I mean that.
No, you don't.
I don't want to hear it. Just like I kind of don't
Wait,
want to
when
hear
you
this
say
Drake album.
you don't want to hear anything else, you mean literally anything else?
I've had enough. I'm happy. I don't want to be disappointed with trash after that beautiful thing you just dropped.
Kanye's not gonna give you.
You're
trash,
from Queens. That makes no sense.
I'm scared that he's gonna put out something that looks like the Power Phase. Like I feel like he's gonna put out a pair of Calabasas audio, and I'm be frustrated.
There was a moment between Pablo and was it Pablo? He was doing like the Paul McCartney stuff. He did that stuff with Rihanna where
he had some questionable moments during Pablo. He did have some questionable moments where you weren't sure before the album came out. Actually,
he did.
No, he had a lot of questionable moments when I think back to the Pablo, because how many times did he re-upload Pablo to iTunes?
But that was the genius of Kanye though. He made edits. He had a living
album.
I'm not with it.
Now here's why
Are
I
you
see.
serious? It sounded better every time.
Yeah, I had to like go back, and every time I got the bootleg, I had to download.
You just
then
mad.
you shoulda had
You just
title.
mad. Get
Shoulda
over
had
yourself.
title.
You just mad.
I had to like delete it off my iPhone and re-download. I had to go find a new torrent for it. That was trash. Nah.
See, this is
So
foul.
Pablo, for me, Pablo, all right,
foul.
it was feel good. He was in a good place in his life. You know, he had a
Yeah.
base. He had Saint coming on the way. He had Blue or what's the name, Northwest, whatever.
Yeah.
Got married, but
One
after
and the
this,
same. Blue, North, they all the
Toby,
same.
whatever.
after this breakdown, this emotional breakdown, he did the concert, and he, was labeled this crazy dude beating up paparazzi. Like he's got something to prove.
How? I just had to do that.
Yeah,
Always wanna do
house,
it.
right?
Hold on.
I feel like Kanye's at his best when he has something to prove.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm excited. Where I think you might be proven wrong. It might not be a full album, but you might get
Honestly,
5
he puts out a
strong.
Calabasas.
I honestly want to hear Kanye rap.
Everybody does.
No.
Yes.
I don't want to hear rap. He's like 50. I don't care about that.
Also, you're not
It's
going. You
over.
wanted to hear J rap though.
But Jay is
He
like,
does that.
Yeah, that's him.
Wait, and Kanye is not?
Kanye's an artist. Jay-Z's a rapper.
No, I beg to differ. I think Jay is an artist, and he doesn't get that credit.
Let's say
When
that
you
again.
so
Kanye is just an artist. Jay-Z is an artist and a rapper.
that's debatable. That is debatable.
It's not.
I don't think this goes back. This goes back to Kanye in the beginning of his career. He was always
When he told you he had the Olu Abdu.
yeah. He was upset that he was not being looked at as a rapper, and
he wasn't
went
that
in
good.
and he went and rapped.
When?
What you mean? That first album wasn't a rap album?
We're talking Jay-Z rapper.
I mean, I
Kanye
could
rapper.
rap. I could rap. I could rap, but depends on the level that you're at,
Yeah.
right?
B.
He's not. Listen, he's not
got
like
bars.
known for being a rapper.
I
got bars.
Come on, like Through the Wire wasn't him being a rapper.
And you talk about the phases. You can
was it?
understand who was behind Kanye through and through his career. You know when he was a consequence. You know when people was writing his shit. You
Queens
knew.
get the money, by the way.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you can't say that about. Now, of course, you can't say that about Jay, but there's two different levels of rap that we're talking
I
about.
think we're discrediting Kanye's ability because of the current state of hip hop. Like, Kanye has evolved through 3 or 4 different phases of hip hop
As a great artist.
as a great artist.
Yeah, I agree
Well,
with that.
But he's not
This
hanging out
goes
with
back to my-
Prodigy. Not like a rapper like Jay.
He's hanging out with
Well,
Talib
Nas.
Kweli, but is that
And
because
Mos
he's
Def.
a producer, or is that because
And Mos Def.
he can go bar to bar?
He signed Consequence.
I'm just thinking about his rap
Big
singer
Sean.
basement freestyle and like how everybody thought it was so good, but it was really, really bad. Stand out. I don't really care about that. He's not a rapper.
That was fire, by the way.
It's cool, but it's not like if Hove would have been in the same beat. Actually, he was, and he bodied it.
I don't remember Hove doing stand up.
Maybe I was wrong, but Hove bodies everything.
You just tried to prove a point off.
I just felt. Maybe I was like, listen, whatever. It happens. I dropped the ball once, twice.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Anybody else you excited to hear from?
Drake,
Yeah.
Drake.
How you feel about this last single? I know we talked about it.
Trash.
It's trash.
Yeah, I
But
feel
it's
same
the
way.
year of the woman.
I kind of feel that was kind of lame. He could have
It's corny.
waited because Cardi didn't even drop for a week, and he already dropped something trying to take the shine. Not trying to take the shine, but like ego, me. This is Drake. Like, I love the women. I get it. It was an anthem, but let Cardi be
Want to hear
shine.
something funny about it? When's the last time you heard it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't even remember how it go.
Me
I
neither.
can't even like.
But it's not a radio song. It's not a club song. It's an anthem. Like, you're not gonna get it. You're
It
not gonna
just
get
sounds
spins
like
on it.
Essence Festival.
But this Nicki joint though, fire.
Chun-Li?
The other one, Barbie Tings.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not listening to any of this, and I refuse to.
What are you listening to?
Anything that says Barbie Tings is never going through my ears. Refuse. And I tried my best to listen to Cardi with the idea that we may talk about
It's
it on
not
the
for
podcast.
you.
It's never happening.
Yo, you
It's not for you.
sound super womanistic right now.
Listen, I'm not.
No.
You're not listening to women rap.
No, I'm not.
You sound wild.
But I liked Nicki's album when she was really spitting. I liked it a lot. But the content has nothing to do with my life. I'm not listening to it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think
didn't
he's
like
Chad,
Lil'
I
Kim.
don't think he's saying that he's not listening to it because she's a woman. Like, if she has bars and can spit to something that he can relate to and that's relevant, I'm sure he listened
Yeah,
to it.
but
But
listen
Cardi
to
B's not
Monster every
speaking to
time.
him.
Yo, but what's wrong with good music? Like, I think it's actually good music.
Yeah, sonically it sounds good, but
Maybe
like when
Nicki's.
you listen,
I don't know about Cardi's being good music.
I think it's good for what it is. Am I saying it's groundbreaking and I'm going to go work out to it? Or am I going to let it play with my daughter in the car? No. I am saying it is decent music for today. Now, will it
Decent music for today.
be in my rotation when we at the barbecue this summer? Probably not.
why not?
But because this is not what I listen to when I'm with my people. Y'all know that. Have y'all heard that type of music in my
Oh,
house?
so you just listen to this when? You just said not when you're working out, not when you're working. When you listen to it?
if it comes on in the club, I'm with it.
Oh, okay, and you're going to the club tomorrow?
right? That was-
And you're going to the club?
If it comes on in the car, I'm with it. Because there's
And
a
you
lot
listen to
of
the radio?
There's a sometimes. Sometimes.
Sirius XM, I'm sure. Now, listen, I'm just saying, I listened to the song yesterday, unfortunately.
Oh, you just said you didn't hear it.
I was in the car, again, listening to the radio, like you said, and I heard the Cardi song with SZA, and I'm like, this doesn't even make SZA sound good. And she's incredible.
Give it some time, man.
No, I refuse to give it time.
I'm actually excited to hear women rap, man. I am.
That's good, man.
Maybe because I'm in a household full of women.
I like women rapping. I like Nicki. I love that Monster verse. I love the album that was good. But I don't like the new artists that are characters and not like just artists that are.
And she's from Queens. You're not even bigging her up. That's crazy.
But we only talk about a few.
That's all there
women.
is.
What are you talking about? There's Kamaya, there's
listen to
Jungle
them.
Pussy, there's fucking Nitty Scott. There's females
Scott
out
is
there
dope.
Yo,
fucking spitting
Tink,
bars.
Tink is dope.
I'll
listen to a
Tink
Tink album.
I don't like Tink. I just listened to this girl named Gifted Gab. I think she's
I'm
from
not listening to her. Her
Cali.
name
She's
sounds crazy.
fire. Shout out to Gifted Gab.
Shout out to her
She
lack
got
of
a
creativity with her
single-
name.
She got a single called "Come Correct." Listeners, if you ever have an opportunity, Google Gifted Gab, "Come Correct." It's like some old school hip hop. If you really dig that, it's kind of fire.
Jean Grey, like this.
Jean Grey is dope.
We out
Grey's
here. There's
retired.
people spitting.
I respect
but,
the bars.
but like, here's the thing. Nobody. It's a story, right? The Nicki storyline, the Cardi B storyline. Like that's everybody's hype on that. But
They're a brand.
we're ignoring the fact that there are women out there really,
That can
really spitting.
Yeah, that I'll
They're not gonna get that shine
Yeah.
because of the love and hip hop. They
They're
don't
a
have
brand.
that. You know?
They're a
I
brand.
can't relate to turning Offset on. I'm not doing that.
Nah.
Nah, I
not
can't.
happening.
It's quiet for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not turning nothing. But guys, I think this is it. This is truly like an ad hoc show. We
That
had
went by
nothing
fast.
planned for this. Like, we were just like, yo, let's just go in.
Let's just talk about it.
Let's just talk about it. Like, we had some catching up to do.
Shout out to
Yo, my dude,
Can't wait for you to get off here.
we miss you, son.
We need you during playoff talk.
listen at my man, and let him know he needs to come on the show next week.
Yeah. We need you on the show. But, yo, it's been great, y'all. Thank you.
Checking out.
Yeah.
Easy.
Holla.